brown butter peach upside down cake. Fresh peaches. Brown butter sugar glaze. Pineapple upside down cake is good, but peach upside down cake is better. Especially brown butter peach upside down cake. I mean, come on. I might be a little biased because peaches are my absolute favorite fruit, but how could you go wrong with peaches in brown butter and cake? You really can't go wrong. So let's get started with some juicy peaches. These are farm stand fresh peaches. They're so ripe that they're covering my cutting board with juices, and I've been popping them in my mouth. They're just so, so yummy. I'm gonna show you how you want to cut your peaches for this peach upside down cake. So I'm gonna take this one because it's a little bit bigger, and all I'm gonna do is I'm going to pop it so that the stem is in the front here, and I'm just gonna cut down right to the core, the pit, right around it into chunks, just like this. And I like using a serrated knife because of this. So if you pop your peach skin side up, if you don't use a serrated knife, it's gonna be really hard to get through the skin because the peach is so soft. So you're just gonna do nice slices, pretty thin slices of peach, just like that. So after you slice your peaches, it's time for the fun part, which is the brown butter, brown sugar glaze. I mean, come on. Life doesn't get any better than that. So I have here a half a stick of butter that I'm going to go brown on the stove. All you have to do is you're going to turn your stove top to medium heat, and then you're going to let your butter melt. It's going to start bubbling, and then it's gonna start turning brown. The whole process is gonna take about 6 to 8 minutes or so, depending on the heat of your stove. Okay, we have our brown butter. Ooh, it's like drinkable good. And then I have a little bit of vanilla extract. Be careful because this is going to kind of splatter up. And then I have some brown sugar. This is light brown sugar. And then I'm gonna stir this all around, and it's gonna create this beautiful kind of glaze or sugar mixture that's going to be in the bottom of our cake pan. Okay, so I have a greased cake pan here, and I'm gonna add my brown butter sugar mixture to this greased cake pan, and I'm gonna smooth it out into a single layer. So I just finished smoothing out that brown butter, brown sugar mixture, and it's time to add our peaches. Our juicy, lovely peach slices. So I'm gonna take the slices, ooh, they're slippery, and I'm just gonna make a pretty design with the peaches. You can do whatever you want to do, but I like to start from the edges and basically make a spiral into the center with peaches. Voila! So you really don't even need to bake this, to be honest. I mean, this is the tart, that's all. Just kidding! There's a cake that's going to go on the top, so when we flip it, it'll be a beautiful peach upside down cake. So here is our recipe for the cake part of this, which is basically a pound cake. We have here some softened butter and some sugar, and I'm going to cream the two together, meaning I'm just going to kind of whip the two together until they're nicely combined and creamed. Our butter and sugar are nicely whipped together, and I'm going to add in our wet ingredients. So I have some eggs that I'm gonna crack in and hope that I don't get any shells in there. One. Say a prayer for me. And some vanilla. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix all these ingredients together until they're nicely combined. So this is what our cake batter is gonna look like. Kind of weird, but this is what you want. I added my paddle attachment on because now it's time to add in the dry ingredients. All they are, I have some flour here. I'm gonna add a little bit of baking powder to the flour. If you're not using salted butter, then you need to add just a pinch of salt in this too. And you're just gonna take a whisk it together just to make sure those ingredients are combined. And then you're gonna pop them all into your wet ingredients, just like that. And then you're just gonna get your mixer going, make sure your ingredients are combined, and then it's time to add to the peaches. My cake batter is ready. It's going to look like a very, very small amount of cake batter, and that's on purpose because you really only want just a thin layer of cake. We're gonna make a very thin cake so that way the peaches and the brown butter soak all the way through the cake. It's more like a tart. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take dollops of this cake batter, and my way of doing this, there's probably an easier way, is you're just gonna make all the dollops throughout the cake and then use a fork or even your fingers like I'm doing and just spread this mixture across the cake. It takes some time, but when you add all the batter on, it's not that difficult. And that way you're not moving the peaches around and the peaches stay in place because you're being very delicate. Use your finger like a knife. It's oven time. So I'm gonna pop this guy in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes until the top is very lightly golden brown. And when you insert a toothpick into the center of the cake, it comes out clean or just with some loose crumbs. See you then. So I've been waiting patiently, waiting for the cake to cool about 10 to 15 minutes just to let it set, but it's time to flip it. It's an upside down cake, so let's see if I can do it. I'm scared. I heard it. I'm scared. I think it's gonna be a little uneven. All right. And I did it. Time for me to try. Brown butter, peach, upside down cake. That's all you gotta know. Check this out on tastefullygrace.com. You won't regret it. Juicy fruits. Looks like cream. It doesn't look like cream.